Our topic is on abortion.
So abortion is a procedure to terminate a pregnancy, and according to Medline, an abortion is a procedure to end a pregnancy, and it can be done in two different ways. A medication abortion, which uses medicine to end a pregnancy and is sometimes called a medical abortion or an abortion with pills, and a procedural abortion, which is a procedure to remove the pregnancy from the uterus, also called a surgical abortion.
In our papers, we talk about three lenses: economic, cultural, and political. Economic's main question asked is, how do different economic standards affect the availability of abortion for poverty versus affluent communities?
Mine is a cultural lens, which focuses on how do the different perspectives of an abortion between cultures and religions differ, and how do different countries address the issue of abortion through their laws.
I looked at it from a political lens, focusing on how different political groups perceive abortion in America, as well as how the topic of abortion has affected American government and politics throughout the years.
Economic disparity, cultures and religions and political parties all restrict that access to abortion. These factors give little to no opportunities for those who are trying to obtain a safe and legal one. So women living in poverty may resort to dangerous and unsanitary methods to end a pregnancy, putting their health and lives at risk. According to Brookings Economic Studies, a program that provides analysis of current economic issues, summarizes that low-income women are 5 times more likely to experience an unattended pregnancy, which leads to serious ramifications for social mobility. Due to their financial status, they also have fewer resources and encounter a number of barriers preventing a safe abortion. Gunmaker's Institute graph shows that a higher income leads to an increase in safer abortions, and a lower income leads to a decrease in safer abortions.
Some cultural issues is that different cultures and religions believe that the act of childbirth is a miracle in itself, and taking that away with a God-given gift would be a sin. According to Troy and Maziyama, if conception is an occasion of joy, a good, uncomplicated birth of a healthy child is a much more, so as it validates the relationships existing between parents, the nearest of kin, the ancestors, and God himself. It is a sign of tranquility in the universe. Since these religions and cultures typically believe that typically dominate countries, numerous regions have banned abortion by any means and give no option to the youth or anyone an option to rid of the baby, sometimes no matter the circumstances.
So abortion is also a very polarizing topic in American government and politics. So on June 24th, 2022, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, which guaranteed all women in America the right to a safe abortion. And as of January 2023, 12 states have a near total ban on abortion. 4 states have bans that limit abortion care, and in 2 states, abortion is not illegal, but it's unavailable. In addition, according to data from the CDC, Black and Hispanic women have an abortion rate of 23.8 and 11.7 per every 1,000 women, respectively, while white women had a rate of only about 6.6. So this means that women of color would be more disproportionately affected by a lack of access to abortion, and many believe that this is caused by unwanted pregnancies caused by a lack of education on sexual health and a lack of access to contraceptives.
So how do we combat lack of access to abortion worldwide? So we have a 4-step problem, which is EARL. The first step is on educating, the second step is approving, the third step is reinstating, and the fourth step is limiting.
So step 1 is educating, specifically educating people who are not really taught about contraception or safe sex, and this will help limit the need for abortions. So this can be used using the NGO SECUS, which can target educating women of color because, as previously mentioned, they are the most affected by this. And it also provides a comfortable environment for people from conservative cultures to learn more about safe sex and sexuality and ask any questions that they may have. Step 2 is approving a group of doctors to provide access to abortion. This can be done with NGOs like Doctors Without Borders. In 2021, they provided abortions in 33 countries, and they did both pill abortions and abortions in clinics. And after the abortion, as well as prior to the abortion, they also provide guidance and counseling. So step 3 is trying to reinstate laws that provide equal access to abortion for all. So this can be done by supporting groups like NARAL, which works to defend and reinstate pro-choice policies and endorses candidates who want to secure access to abortion for all and to provide sex education for all.
So step 4 is limiting. This focuses on limiting the effects and power of economic status as it categorizes us how we shall live a specific lifestyle. The Women's Right Reproductive Assistance Project, or WRAP, is a nonprofit organization that financially assists those who are unable to pay for safe, legal, or emergency contraceptives. They have over 700 clinics, doctors, and hospitals and provide financial care for all 50 states. So the 4-step solution can ease the problems when it comes to lack of access to abortion. To summarize, Earl educates on sexual health. It improves groups to give assistance for physical and mental health. They reinstate laws to allow for safer and legal abortions and limits the economic disparities that affect access to them. Earl can help alleviate the economic, cultural, and political problems of abortion that I had mentioned earlier.
So with that, for our solution of Earl, there are some economic limitations, being that establishing pay for advocates and healthcare professionals will be a difficulty, as finding room within a nonprofit organization where doctors and healthcare professionals would be willing to expand their professional practice without profit would be very unlikely, and it may lead to a lack of professionals for our program. Also, there's people in extreme poverty who would still not be able to afford a safe abortion. Even with the decrease in prices of abortion, the people who need access to them might not always be eligible, and the government's lack of funding. So establishing a reproductive health care center where abortions can be provided by a government liability would be a government liability, meaning that in order to start such a system, the government would need to find a space within its funding to provide a sufficient income for these organizations. According to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, they found in 2021 that restrictive abortion laws cost state and local economies $105 billion annually, and by reducing labor force participation and earnings levels, while also increasing time off and turnover among women's ages to 15 to 44.
So some cons with our solution are that people who undergo abortions, if they're in more conservative cultures, then they might be outcasted by their cultures or their communities, and they also might feel guilty after getting abortions, which can have an immense effect on their mental health. In addition, some people refuse to even learn about abortion because they feel that it goes against their religion or their culture, which they identify with deeply. And finally, pro-life protests and pro-life government officials make it possible that abortion could once again be made illegal.
And some pros to our solution is that people who are unable to provide for a child or give it proper care and protection needed have a wider range of options that are more financially efficient. And is a much safer option for the child bearer to go through than a rather illegal abortion, and evidence shows that abortion rates are higher in countries where there is the lack of access to contraception. It gives those who haven't experienced assault or rape to be able to rid of a forced pregnancy. And among adult women, an estimated 32,000 pregnancies result from rape each year. And among 34 cases of rape-related pregnancy, the majority occurred among adolescents and resulted from an assault by an unknown, often related perpetrator. Only 11.7% of these victims received immediate medical attention after the assault, and 47% received no medical attention. Also, with younger, unexpected pregnancies, it can interfere in the teen's ability to pursue a career and life goals.
Okay, just 2 seconds. All right, so we're going to ask each of you a question. Ela, how did the group decide to include Callie's perspective, lens, or conclusion into the overall presentation?
So Callie looked at the economic causes and things surrounding abortion, and we tried to look at how people in different economic situations are affected by a lack of access to abortion, and we tried to add that into our solution by looking at specific NGOs or specific organizations that we can look at that help aid people in impoverished countries or in a bad economic situation, and how they can be helped.
Okay. Maya, how How did your group address source credibility when finding additional evidence for your group's solution and or resolution?
So we address source credibility throughout our presentation, especially with our solution of Earl, by crediting the source in the beginning of our statements by saying, according to this person from this website and this article.
Okay. And then Callie. What do you feel was Ela's greatest contribution to the group's final argument?
Well, Ela focused on the political effects of that, and then Earl, we added the step 3, which is reinstating laws. And when it comes to abortion, it just comes down to the political aspect of it, because they're the ones that are legalizing or making abortion illegal. So I think Ela's perspective was really important with trying to come up with a solution.
Okay.